Hey guys, welcome to this panel discussion. So we got some amazing guests over here, and I guess the title is "Why Are Crypto Exchanges Still Flourishing?" That's the main title. So just to introduce myself, I'm Markose Chenthitta. I'm the podcast and communication lead for XE.com. So in very simple English, I'm just a random guy on YouTube. But we got some amazing experts over here from different backgrounds. And I will love for you to introduce yourself and your origin story into crypto, blockchain, Web3 space, you name it. So please take it away.
Thank you, Marcus. Hello to fellow panelists. My name is Shantnu, and I'm an advisor to Lbank as well. But we run a regulated and a licensed crypto desk called as Encryptus. What we do is crypto to fiat. Those who don't understand what fiat currencies are national currencies like GBP, Euro, and USD. So, well, there's plenty of, the list goes on and on. So what we do is we provide payers against cryptos and fiat. We are regulated in Australia. We just got the authorization in Lithuania and fully licensed in the UAE from DMCC for crypto activities. I've been in crypto space for 7 years. I started my journey with a then startup who was building a model between Bitcoins and money transfers back in the UK. But I came to Dubai to set up operations for one of the largest crypto exchanges here. And since then, my family doesn't want to move back to Dubai, to the UK. So I'm here, and I was supposed to start a business here. So that's my small little short story.
But hey, sir, please introduce yourself. Tell us your origin story into the crypto space.
Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Piotr, and I am the founder of Eterna hybrid exchange, which is a revolutionary exchange because of gaining an access from one platform to multiple decentralized exchanges for users. So people that are using our platform can use funds that are stored on a centralized exchange directly into decentralized exchanges. And how Eterna has been established, everything happened because of my brother, that I told him, Camille, there is a coin, it's called Shiba Inu. And I do believe that it will provide you a good profit if you will invest in this token. And he asked me like, okay, so where I can buy it? I said, it's not listed on any centralized exchange, it is only on the Axis for now. Okay, so how I can buy it? You have to download Trust Wallet, MetaMask, you have to withdraw funds, you have to convert this, you have to inject the smart contract, and then you can purchase it and you have it. And he's a very clever guy. But for him, doing this required the whole time of learning, downloading an applications, and basically he did it. So that's what Eterna is doing. Eterna is bringing an opportunity for people that are in a crypto or are not in a crypto yet, because as we know, there is about 600% increase of users on centralized exchanges and above 800% every single year on decentralized exchanges. But people that are starting with a crypto, they don't know how to use DEXs because it requires technical knowledge. So we've got an aggregator that is giving a possibility to every single person that got an account on our exchange to purchase coins on any decentralized exchange. Doesn't matter if it is Radium Swap, if this is Sunday Swap, Pancake Swap, or Uniswap. So our aggregator is working around all blockchains, and that's what I do believe is revolutionary in our exchange. As I said, my name is Piotr, and it's a pleasure to be with you guys here.
Hey, thank you, Piotr. Thank you for sharing your insights into our incredible, ever-expanding space. Am I saying, can you please pronounce your name? I apologize.
Sopheap.
Sopheap, please
Hi.
share your story.
Yeah, so my name is Sopheap Lao. I'm the CEO of Davensi. So we run Web3 financial services, and we provide solutions and tools when it comes to digital assets trading, management, and investments. And this is done through our CeFi, DeFi aggregator platform. But I used to be a in fintech like for a while. You can consider me as a veteran in crypto. I mean, I started in crypto back in 2013. Was based in Hong Kong at that time. Used to run a blockchain company, by the way. So I've been appointed at Davensi as a CEO very recently. Actually, I used to take care of the strategy. So apparently the founder and ex-CEO must have liked the strategy established so much that he asked me to replace him in order to lead the company to where we want to lead it. It is to say, starting from a centralized exchange, we're moving towards Web3, but is it a surprise after all? We're all moving to Web3, right?
Totally agree. Sure, Ruffy, please go ahead, share your story.
So, hello everyone. My name is Farouk. I'm representing Ruffy International FCCO. So, what we've built is own metaverse. You've heard it today in the afternoon. We also have our own NFT marketplace, socialized with social media integration. I'm the lead business development. I represent our CEO, Cihan, who's taking care of his little kid, his little son. More important than that, so I will be taking over. So yeah, I'll take part in this panel, and we're not a centralized exchange, but we're very interested in token listings with centralized exchanges, so we are potential customers of our friends over here. And I'm more of a critical guy against centralized exchanges, so I'm looking forward to the discussion and to be the furious guy who has crazy
Watch out.
ideas, let's say.
No, definitely this is going to be a pretty fun discussion for all of us. So I got a couple of questions provided by our folks here at Crypto Expo. So the first question. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Binance and FTX. And now these exchanges have made more than $1 billion in profits last year, apparently. So the question is, what will this year be like in your point of view? So Shantnu, would you like to?
Sorry, what's the question?
The question is, exchanges like Binance and FTX had more than $1 billion in profits last year. What will this year be like?
I think we all know the success story of Binance and FTX and why they became so big and massive. However, I'm not really worried about this year. What I'm thinking about is next year. Like, what is it that's going to happen next year? Because there are different things from the regulatory aspect that is really going to change in a very, very big way. The regulators are coming up with regulations in different jurisdictions. So I think there are over 500 crypto exchanges in total.
I'm pretty sure it's more than that.
I mean, at least what's there on the coin market cap as far as I remember. And a lot of these crypto exchanges have some of the other unique features or functionalities available. And this is why they are all surviving. Some on spot, some on altcoins, some on derivatives, and some on crypto to fiat, and various other services that we can think about in the crypto space. But I think rules that will come in probably into more effect. Like there is something called as a travel rule on the compliance side, which means it's exactly the way our banking services are provided to us in one country. Say, for example, if I'm a NatWest user in the UK, doesn't mean that I can also apply for a NatWest account from Dubai, because there would be travel rules and stuff. So I think that is going to be something very interesting to watch out for. And how the crypto companies cope up to the new trends that's coming up. So is it just going to be defined by the product? Like, for example, we saw the success story for Binance. It was mainly through the product as well, the way the products are designed. However, what is next trend and what kind of tokens do they list will also determine how things will move forward.
No, thank you for your interesting insight. Hey, Piotr, you have
So, if you can please tell me more, what is, one more time, a question?
Oh, the question, sure, absolutely. Exchanges like Binance and FTX had more than $1 billion in profits last year. What will this year be like in your point of view?
Okay, so 1 billion in profit are numbers that are provided, and as we know, there are a lot of numbers that are still in a crypto where the profit is just shows on a fiat profits that the company received. So Binance and FTX made much more than that, than just
Sorry, just a little bit
fiat
closer.
money.
Could you bring your mic a little bit closer?
Okay, so just that's what I'm saying, that the 1 billion that you guys provided is a number that is sticked into the profit that is made on a fiat currencies. But most of the assets are held on crypto, and those are not counted. So we are talking about way more than $1 billion. So in this year, as I could know, the trading volume is down, I think, around 90%. So in this case, of course, the companies will earn less. But still, there are fees that you guys didn't heard about, and they are open trade fees, open market position fee, there are stop loss fees, there is a bunch of different other fees that you have no idea about. So for example, if you are opening in Binance and you will see 0.0007 on a 17% on a spot trading fee at the end when you are using the exchange, then people are ending up with paying way more, and we are talking about hundreds of dollars if you just move around $1,000 to $2,000 couple times. So the exchanges and the big exchanges will make money. That's something what is obvious. That's what I am thinking the most now, is how users will react in the case when they are paying the fees, those hidden fees, and they are not making money on it. And I think that the question is great, but in my heart is mostly focused how we will providing the profits for users. That's why I am proud of being a CEO of a first exchange that is providing a 50% of its profit for token stakers. And basically, I think in a case of profits, exchanges will make money. Will they make billion as it says? It depends what they will write, but they will make much more.
Thanks for the insight. I know you have something to
Piotr,
say.
are you saying we don't have to worry too much about Binance, right? And I don't think we should worry that much. I mean, they make in terms of transaction volume this year, it's 240 billion. Okay, that's a big number, right? And it's not going to stop anytime soon. I mean, it's even better than last year as compared to the volumes managed in the biggest decentralized exchange, Uniswap, which is something just over 1 billion. So it's 1.19 or something this year. So actually, centralized exchange still have the lion's share of volume, basically. And the reason why we shouldn't worry too much, if we take the market overall, decentralized and centralized, even CZ himself said decentralized exchange is going to be more and more popular. And in 5 or 10 years away from now, he could see decentralized exchange will outperform the centralized exchange. Okay, so I don't think we should worry too much this year. Okay, bear market and everything, but I guess next year, I'm very, very positive what's going to happen next year. And there's one reason. Take a look at what's going on in Dubai. Even there's a strategy about the metaverse, and I was earlier talking about Islamic finance,
Right.
and I think once the countries in the Gulf would figure out how to take advantage of Web3, then for sure, the wealth of money that there is in the region will certainly be poured, on crypto as well, and that would be for the benefits of the whole industry. So we shouldn't worry too much. Binance will transform itself into decentralized finance as well, and even Davensi. We started as a centralized exchange, and we're already preparing for the future.
Interesting insight. I'm sure you got something to say.
We spoke a lot about how Binance, FTX, and everyone will do. To be honest, not many of us care actually, because as our friend said, the DEXs are more important to the general investors, because Binance, FTX, they all work like traditional banks similarly in their KYC system, legalized everything. However, what interests me most is how exchanges try to integrate risk management and all across it. However, the risk management systems within crypto are not implemented yet. There's no integrated risk management system that I see that works quite well. And the sad part is that even Binance and FTX are having issues in that side. We heard it a few years ago, last year. Legal issues, KYC issues, risk issues. And that's my take on that. How, I want to add a question for Lbank and all the exchanges we have here. How do you think centralized exchanges can solve the risk management issue that's seen in the space in general? Because that's a big thing. People underestimate risk management. I know it costs a lot. People might not like it, but it's one of the main operations that you have to have in a company, especially in a financial institution. I would like to give over to Shantnu for that question. What do you think? How can exchanges improve?
That's a great question, by the way. I think that's
That's a good point. I mean, risk management is a very, very good point. Oh, what's going on? Oh, easy here.
We got Rico, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Rico in the building.
Okay, hello.
Hey.
Welcome.
Okay.
Sorry to be late, guys. Yeah, the traffic is pretty bad.
So you missed the beginning.
So yeah, I think Markose was sharing a lot about the exchange futures and things like that. I just want to ask a question to most of you guys as centralized exchanges and hybrid exchanges here. So there's a lot of saying that centralized exchanges will not be around in the future. I can't hear, sorry. Saying that centralized exchanges will not be around in the future because the nature of liquidity and the growth of decentralized exchange is a very tricky question. However, I always ask for your opinion. Let's start with
Yeah,
Check.
I can start with that. As I said just right before, centralized exchanges have many issues with legal and risk management kind of type of things. And we're talking about the big ones, right? They work similar to traditional banks. Of course, they're in Web3, blockchain, crypto, whatever. However, their operations are not fruitful yet in that sense, especially in the risk sector. And as you said, in the future, what I see is the potential for centralized exchanges is to very well work closely with decentralized exchanges, integrated partly into their ecosystem or work together. Because the future of Web3 is not working against each other or competing all the time. Because you know, we all compete in our lives all the time, but what's more interesting is helping each other together and making this space a better place than the traditional institutionalized world is. And that's, I think, the best part of Web3 and what centralized exchanges can do in the future.
no doubt that. But if the regulations in certain countries are getting tighter, as we are aware, in certain countries they are banning NFT, they are banning crypto. In such region, you see a lot of gray areas where decentralized exchange can do better than centralized exchanges. What do you guys think about that? Lbank.
Shantnu, go ahead.
So the question is how centralized exchanges will be competing against decentralized exchanges, right?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I find a problem with both the business models. Both centralized and decentralized exchanges have a problem. Let me know if you cannot hear me okay. Because on one side, you have got the DEXs running with just a code on the blockchain. I don't know who is the counterparty. I don't know their KYC and stuff. Whereas on the centralized side, at least things are a little more secure. Like I understand that who the user is, who is it that's bringing the liquidity, and who is it that's taking the liquidity away. Maybe the better way of dealing with that problem would be through wallets. I think the major challenge, whether it's centralized or decentralized, it's the wallet, because the crypto exchanges or the crypto companies keep saying that we want cryptos to become big because we believe in decentralization. But as soon as I offer a wallet to my user and say, this wallet is under my control, I take away their rights. Which means it brings to the same old story that maybe through the wallet infrastructure we can do better, and a hybrid model wherein there is control, there is transparency, there are regulations. At the same time, the user has control over their assets would be an ideal scenario.
And I personally think that the centralized exchange just cannot live without decentralized exchanges. Why is it? We got the total market cap of a cryptocurrency is equal to market cap of a Tesla. So we can say that the crypto market cap is still a micro market cap according to the financial markets, Forex, and all what is happening around in the case of the big money. So to increase those numbers, do we will need more shitcoins around us? Do we will need more altcoin around us? Or we will need their liquidity pool to grow? And how the big company that is holding billions of dollars could invest in any coin in a decentralized exchange, knowing that the price impact will basically destroy their trade. And I guess that if we would like to increase, and as we know that, as I said, 800% of users is coming into the crypto, and every year they are first going into centralized exchange, because the centralized require from them knowledge, technical knowledge. They need to learn about trades, how to do things. On the DEXs, they've been scammed, and they are just trying to find something what will work. But in my opinion, the centralized world will never go up without money that are taken from centralized world. And big corporations, big money holders will not put money into the coin that can increase its price and a couple million times after injecting from them $1 billion, let's say. But in the case of a centralized exchanges, this is possible. So without centralized exchanges, crypto will not survive, because there will be no space where they could put their money in. That's my opinion.
Great.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons we think that more and more people are adopting crypto also drive more users to different exchanges in different countries and region. So I believe that, you know, with the growth of more and more users, I mean, most of us are working to onboard non-crypto people to become crypto native users. We are doing a lot of education and awareness to promote that. I think every project is doing that in a way. How is that going to compete with some of the custodial wallets and non-custodial wallets that's actually introducing a lot of function in atomic swap by itself, and also having the fiat to crypto rent via digital wallets, local currency, and also with credit card? How is that going to pose a threat to the exchanges business?
One main component that we hear here, we talked a lot about various components, exchange this, decentralized. The main issue is, one, how can they compete, integrate, fight against the others? But the real part is, how do you secure the funds? We saw with Terra that exchanges are the same as banks when it comes to money. They block the funds, you cannot trade, you cannot do anything. So why are we talking about, centralized exchanges get customers? Of course they get, that's their main business value. But the real issue here is the security part is not secure on any kind of SEX, on any centralized exchange, on any kind of DEX, doesn't matter what. I agree with various points you mentioned with decentralized exchanges, but the centralized exchanges have a lot of work to do. They drive main adoption. I absolutely agree, it's perfect because they give the same user interface as banks. It's simple. You register your name, your data, KYC, you click, spot, okay, buy, done. Similar at banks, go to e-banking, log in, buy a stock. Same system. However, the mentality has to change because we say banking will die, decentralized, centralized exchanges will take over, whatever. Yeah, that might be true. In 10 years, centralized exchanges will have the same problem. That's my hot take. What do you guys think about how? I will add a question on top of the customer satisfaction, let's say, and say, how do you see centralized exchanges being different than the current traditional finance systems?
Sorry, yeah, sorry, yes.
Yeah, I can't agree more. And even it's really, I mean, your question is pretty much related to the one question before. So I don't think we should really say that, decentralized exchange and centralized exchange are competitors. That's the first thing. I mean, to me, it looks like it's a different way to sell and buy assets, and that's it, different ways. For now, centralized exchange happens to be, more performant, let's say. But then, who knows? I mean, one day with more liquidity put on a decentralized world, it's going to get better, and it is actually getting better anyway. So eventually, exchange would happen on a decentralized world. This is what I'm thinking, and then those who would be able to take advantage of it, it's either the centralized exchange as we know it, and then they can't stay like they are today. I mean, they probably will evolve into real competitors of the incumbents, basically. So fund management, you name it, investment, etc. So basically, the incumbent, like traditional banking, I mean, should they worry about it? Well, yes, because there's one thing though. I mean, decentralization when it comes to trading, it's all right. But there's one thing you can't decentralize really, is risk management. You can't really do that. And by the way, even if you build a marketplace, you must have a gateway somewhere, like a centralized point of entry in order to do what you want to do. So now I think the incumbents are very aware of risk management. They are very good at it. Société Générale was one of the best bank in the world when it comes to risk on derivatives and exotic product in the 90s and in 2000. Now, we barely see it in centralized exchange nowadays, and necessarily they have to evolve. I mean, they really need to get smarter in that sense. Some exchanges are getting smarter, by the way. I'm pretty much into Qcoin, to be honest. So if you have a look at the level of analysis in anything you want to do, like before you do something, there's a bit of analysis. I think it's getting even smarter, even to me better than Binance. Now, what the incumbents are preparing, because they have so much experience, in risk management, obviously this is where they have an edge today. The competition is basically between centralized exchanges that will turn into, financial services company eventually, and the incumbents. And for now, I would say the incumbents still have an edge. Plus, they are already regulated.
Thank you. So, just a bit of the time now, the last question I asked, there are more and more countries opening up regulations to allow licenses for exchanges. Especially the last 1 year, we saw a lot of new countries coming out with new license regulations. So that's very exciting for all the exchange businesses. If someone were to invest in setting up exchanges, businesses, which country would you go for? Can every one of you give one answer?
Oh no, but you go ahead first, man.
The question, sorry, one more time. I just tried to make sure that I.
Yes. In which country would you start a centralized exchange?
Rose one. If you were setting up a decentralized exchange, I would go for Estonia. If you are setting centralized exchange, I will go for Lithuania, and I will stick in Europe. That's in the case. That's the way how we went, and yeah. I guess that this is. If someone would like to ask why, in this case, basically we went this way because this is European Union, so you can operate on the whole Europe, and this is the most profitable in the case of operating, as Europe is quite big. We didn't touch the US market yet. Someday will happen. Then we will think what kind of regulations.
Thank you. What about Davensi? What is your answer to that?
Singapore?
Singapore.
Now,
Okay.
I'm just back from...
Why Singapore?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're just back from a trip to Singapore, actually. We were obviously, we were born in France, and now we're expanding eastwards. And there's a reason. In the trend analysis, I mean, most of the growth in Web3, which is actually the future, and this is more profound than just a marketing call, right? Web3 is really, I mean, the foundational thing, you know, when it comes to DeFi. And it turns out, we talked to the governments, like 3 governmental entities in Singapore. And I was surprised, I mean, the way they're so supportive about Web3. They're not so supportive about cryptocurrencies, they're kind of cautious about it. But when it comes to Web3, I mean, the way it works, the interoperability, the way governments can take advantage of Web3 in order to, you know, run the KYC, know your citizens, managing, you know, personal data in a very safe way. This is, by the way, what Singapore is currently doing in Web2. But they're very, very eager to move to the Web3 space in that matter. So I suppose, I mean, that would be Singapore. I mean, that's the top one choice to me.
Interesting, very interesting. What about Lbank?
I think I would talk more on the Encryptus point of view as well. That's a company that I own, and what we are doing. So what we are doing is not preparing for today, but preparing for tomorrow. So there is no right answer, in my opinion, which jurisdiction is right or wrong. In my opinion, every jurisdiction, as long as they can give you a crypto license, is good, because the crypto business is, in my opinion, it's still gonna take time for the regulators to understand and have a travel rule in place, which means wherever and whichever country you get an opportunity, get a license. Also make sure, even if exchanges are not licensed in a certain jurisdiction, that should also mean is good compliances in-house is mandatory. It's like we live in a house, and do we leave our house dirty? We still clean the house, right? We don't wait for our family members or our house help to come and clean. And compliance, unfortunately, fortunately, is the same. Whether you like it or you don't like it, but you have to make sure you identify who the user is. Where are they getting the cryptos or money from? And on the basis of that, you build a strong foundation. So compliance can only be understood if it's a culture. If it's a function, if compliance is a function, can never make it big. But if it is ingrained within the company, then it becomes a culture. That's my opinion, and therefore, at Encryptus and Lbank, we are applying for multiple licenses in multiple jurisdictions, and I think that is the only way to succeed further long term.
All right, so multiple countries, multiple licenses, like 150 licenses in the future.
Or more is better.
Or more.
And fully integrated coin monitoring and KYC tools should be there as part of the product offering.
How about XC.com?
Yeah, I'll just give a simple answer. If I'm going to set up a centralized exchange, I would set up in Dubai. The reason is I was born and brought up in Dubai. I moved to the States, and I crash landed back to Dubai. And just seeing the leadership, how they are, you know, creating a space for talented people. Already, I have friends, I have people from all over the world. They are coming to Dubai because they want to come to a place where they're treated best. And the leadership over here, they're excited about how this technology is going to revolutionize the internet, information, and money. So I'm DXB all the way, baby.
Very diplomatic. Dubai, Globalists, Estonia, Singapore, and what about you, Cihan?
So I'm not a centralized exchange, we're not. But as I'm from Switzerland, one of the countries that are most underrated, it's a very small country, it's called Liechtenstein. They have legislation in act regarding digital currency tokenization. Dr. Thomas Nägele is the godfather of regulation, and he's not just helping there, he's all over the world, helping in the States, in Singapore, everywhere he's pushing it because he knows the space, he understands what's important, and he made it really accessible for anyone. I would start in Liechtenstein, grow from there, source it out to all over the world, as our friend Shantnu said, and that's my answer, Liechtenstein for the win.
Yeah,
Right.
my top
you very
three pick
much.
as well, Switzerland.
So thank you very much for sharing your insights, and this is why the crypto exchanges are going to flourish, because they are going to open up all the exchanges in all these countries, and many more to come. And with that, I will end the session today. Thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very much.
everyone.